Are you happy in your business? Now, I have had my share of emotional ups and downs in my 20 years of being a solo entrepreneur coach. And the patterns I've seen in myself and in my clients is that those downs are usually when I was personally feeling unfulfilled. Sometimes it was because a launch that flopped, and sometimes it was just life and had nothing to do with business. But those ups, oh boy, those are the times when I was feeling my most authentic and completely aligned to my purpose, or when I just felt like I was rocking that work-life balance. I would be thinking I could do this all day long and never feel tired. One of my loves is sharing what works for me and what has been working for my clients to achieve this very feeling, full of passion, happiness, peace, and freedom. So I decided to create a private podcast for coaches. Maybe you just want to develop better communication skills that boosts engagement, leads to better results, and makes you feel like you're actually making a difference in the lives of the people you serve. Then you're invited too. We talk about this and more in the UBU private podcast for coaches. Whether you're a mentor, a parent, or run a client-focused business, coaching skills benefit everyone and anyone who wants to communicate in a way that builds relationships. Fall in love with your life and business again. Click the link in the show notes for your invitation to join us right now. Then come back and enjoy this episode. Success is about happiness, about the difference that you make in the world. Yes, I'm talking about you, like as an individual. And it's a difference that only you can make. No one else can make that difference. You have a unique strength that powers your legacy. It's time to stop comparing yourself to others and plug in to what is uniquely you. Welcome to Unbox Your Personality, the podcast for coaches, parents, and mentors like you who understand that your happiness makes you more effective at what you do, bringing out the best in others. I'm Jen Higgins, personality strategist and Enneagram fluff remover. Get laser focused on who you are and who you aren't, so you're free to make the impact you were born to make. And have fun doing it. Your personality is your business. So let's get down to business. Yay! I've finally started my podcast. Now, you've been ready for this way before I was, and I just want to thank you for your encouragement and for your patience while I've been making this transition from the Jen and the Enneagram show to the Unbox Your Personality podcast. So I'm not going to lie, I'm in my PJs right now and I'm loving it. This kind of is my happy place. I'm getting in touch with the self-preservationist in me. So this is episode 0, kind of like an introduction, and I just want to kind of preface my episodes with how is this podcast going to be different? How's it going to be different than other personality podcasts, and how is it different than my Jen and the Enneagram live show? Well, let me start with how it's the same. My message is the same. That's not going to change. My message is that everyone is different, and that's okay. In fact, it's the very thing that makes you shine, and finding that difference is really what our goal is. What is it that when you wake up, it lights you up? Like you're ready to tackle your day. Because when you can find that, when you can find what lights you up, you wake up, you're ready to bring that light into the world, and everything and everyone that you touch shines a little brighter. It's like the Midas touch, except for instead of gold, we're talking about brightness here and power and lighting our hearts on fire. And why do we want to do this, right? Because when we get to the end of our life, we want to feel successful. We don't want to have any regrets. And now success looks different to everyone. But what I have learned from well-lived men and women who have been in my life and have graced me with their wisdom, they've passed on or have had long lives and lots of experiences that I admire and respect and I trust. What I'm learning from them is that success isn't about the number of dollars that you have in the bank. It's about happiness. It's about freedom and peace. And there are large measures of freedom and peace when you're in your happy place. You feel it. You know what I'm talking about. When you're at a spa, if that's your jam, or when you're on vacation, watching your favorite movie, whenever you're relaxing, whenever you feel that your body is relaxing, that's your happy place. And it doesn't have to do with traditional sense of success and having to have a lot of dollars behind it. Like you can see it in the faces of babies who play with the wrapping paper more than they play with the gift, right? Or on the faces of grandparents, when they have your presence, like your presence is the best presence, even if it's over Zoom, right? If it's virtual. But success is about happiness, about the difference that you make in the world. Yes, I'm talking about you, like as an individual. And it's a difference that only you can make. No one else can make that difference. You have a unique strength that powers your legacy. And again, I'm not talking about a financial legacy here. I'm talking about your healing legacy, your healing power. That's what success is about. It's about recognizing and actualizing your God-given talents. And that's the point when work doesn't feel like work. And when you're called to be a provider or a nurturer or a healer or a mentor, you've got to serve from your overflow because it's just not as effective. Success is the journey of finding your power and becoming your best self. Because then when you can do that, you can model that to others, to the people that you're influencing, your children, your clients, your students, whoever it is that you are leading. Because anything less than being your best self might lead to regrets and leave you dissatisfied. So psychologists, I don't know if you know this, but they have been able to classify dissatisfaction into 3 categories. So they say the 3 categories are: people are dissatisfied when they feel helpless, when they feel worthless, or when they feel unlovable, or all 3. But usually one will really stand out to you. So ask yourself, what do you fear? Do you fear being helpless? Do you fear being worthless? Or do you fear being unlovable? And there are all sorts of variations to those categories, but they still fall under one of those depending on what your personality is and what you value and what your strengths are. These variations are like being unheard or unseen, feeling useless, impractical, insignificant. What is it for you? And can you boil it down to one of those 3 categories? Now, I can honestly say I've felt all of those things. And I can also honestly say I didn't always see them as fears. And me as a 7 on the Enneagram, I'm in the fear triad. But I think as you become more self-aware, you'll start putting the pieces of the puzzle together and really be able to see the bigger picture of who you are and what drives you and what repels you. But more importantly than that, why? Why those things happen. Now, you probably know me as the Enneagram Ninja, but you might not know is that for over 2 decades now, I'm showing my age, but over 2 decades, I've been using personality to help people feel more motivated and more productive in their businesses, in their parenting, and in serving their community or their students, and helping them find more balance and feeling more confident in what they offer to others. And that balance, it just makes them feel more comfortable in their own skin. Because when you're aware of yourself, you start realizing why you connect with some people and not with others. And it just starts making sense. Things start clicking. But understanding your personality is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you're able to live authentically, because now you're clear on what motivates you and what motivates you versus the hundreds of thousands of people that you might come into contact with, even those that have the exact same personality profile that you do. The real magic happens when you realize what makes you, you, and you can live from that space. And that's what this podcast is about. You want to be successful, but more importantly, you don't want to burn out. You don't want to miss out, and you don't want to feel like a fraud. So this podcast will be different because I'll be answering more of your questions, pushing you to think differently about this personality box that you've put yourself in. And newsflash, we all do that. And showing you how to stay grounded and soar at the same time, beginning with your personality. Plus, I'm going to be bringing on guests to share their stories of how they work with their personality instead of against it, and they're happier for it. So my goal for you after each episode is to walk away feeling inspired, motivated, and empowered to find your happy place from within. Because when you unbox yourself, you unleash your power. Thank you for listening, subscribing, and reviewing the Unbox Your Personality podcast. To learn more about yourself, go to powercoachjen.com. Find out how you are different so you can make your difference.